Hi, Johnny. I can see you've got a start here. For some reason, this is all looking like one chunk, and I don't have any of your layers in your file. Theoretically, this would be on one layer, this would be on one layer, the background would be on one layer, and that would be on one layer, plus this. So I'm kind of wondering how that ended up happening. I would show you what I would do with this if I had the layers. I would definitely make this background image, fill the whole frame. Since you're cut off at an angle here, oh, sorry, you may want to move yourself into the corner so that that kind of disguises that trim. And then you have a picture of your family, I believe, here. It might be nice to try and remove the background on this. I'm not sure how well or how easy that would be to do, but that might be a good thing to try and do. I feel like since you're using photography mostly, if you want to use an illustration, that's fine because it does create a little contrast. But maybe stick with the illustration style. Like, so if you like to knit, maybe use like a ball of yarn with a couple of needles. And you could even kind of play with the yarn and have it kind of, if you found a good piece of yarn that was big enough, you could have it kind of twirl around your canvas and use that as maybe a little bit of a framing tool. It might go around the edges a little bit and then go into a ball here, and then you might have your sticks over here. It kind of depends on what you can find online as far as a ball of yarn and knitting needles. Definitely want to find as high quality large image file as you could, because you wouldn't want it to be blurry, but this is a good start. I would just kind of rearrange some of the elements a little bit more, maybe clip this image out. And if this one doesn't clip out very easily for you, you may have to find a different image that of your family that is easier to clip out. Although I do think the tools in Photoshop, between the object selection and the quick selection tool, do a pretty good job. And you can always go into that selected mask area and use the brush tool to custom almost paint in or paint out areas of the selection. So yeah, let's see, image mode. You are in CMYK color mode. Let's look at your image size. Ooh, so this is an 8.5 by 11. And in your case, you'd want yours to be 11 by 8.5 because you have a landscape. So if we go to image, canvas size, you're going to have to do this and put this on inches. Put these drop downs, on inches, because it'll probably be on pixels. And you want the 11, you want the width to be 11, and you want this to be 8.5. So I wanted you to make it letter size, which is regular computer paper size. Either landscape or portrait would be fine, and you have yours as a landscape, which is totally fine. So 11 by 8.5, push OK. And this is, the size that we're actually working with. Now that might kind of goof up your composition a little bit, because you're going to your images are going to have to blow up that much bigger, and they may get blurrier as if you blow them up a lot more from what they were. And it may help to just, if they do get a little blurry, just do a file, place embedded, and bring back in all these images new after you've resized the document. So just bringing everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bringing them in from your downloads or wherever you've saved them. In your documents, possibly in a self-portrait folder. Just do another file, place embedded, and bring them back in and delete these ones that are here. And kind of, not start over, but, bring them back in fresh so that they are at their highest resolution possible. Other than that, this is looking pretty good. I would say your file name, I'm noticing, has a space in it. When you go to turn this in, make sure you have this labeled with your first name, and then self-portrait is a good way to name it. You could leave that CMYK on there, honestly, because I did ask you to put this in CMYK, and I did train you guys to label files CMYK when they were CMYK, so it's actually not a bad thing. But honestly, with the portrait projects, I mostly just want you to put your first name, self-portrait, and make sure it's a PSD file, of course. All right. Thanks. Talk to you later.